Hi everybody, welcome to Learn with Essay. Today in this tutorial we will learn what is big data, introduction, types, characteristics and example. Before we go to introduction to big data, you first need to know what is data, the quantities, characters or symbols on which operations are performed by a computer, which may be stored and transmitted in the form of electrical signals and recorded on magnetic, optical or mechanical recording medias. Now let's learn big data definition. What is big data? Big data is collection of data that is huge in volume yet growing exponentially with time. It is data with so large size and complexity that none of traditional data management tools can store it or process it efficiently. Big data is also a data but with huge size. In this data analytics tutorial, you will learn what is data, what is big data, what is an example of big data, types of big data, characteristics of big data, and advantages of big data processing. That how huge big data is. What is an example of big data? Following are some of the examples of big data. The New York Stock Exchange is an example of big data that generates about 1 terabyte of new trade data per day. Social media. The statistics shows that 500 plus terabytes of new data is generated into the database of social media site Facebook every day. This data is mainly generated in terms of photo and video uploads, messages exchanged, putting comments, etc. A single jet engine can generate 10 plus terabytes of data in 30 minutes of flight time. With many thousand flights per day, generation of data reaches up to many petabytes. Types of big data. Big data is classified into three types: structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. In structured data, any data that can be stored, accessed, and processed in the form of fixed format is termed as structured data. Over the period of time, talent in computer science has achieved greater success in developing techniques for working with such kind of data and also driving value out of it. However, nowadays we are foreseeing issues when a size of such data grows to a huge extent. Typical sizes are being in the range of multiple zettabytes. Looking at these figures, one can easily understand why the name of big data is given and imagine the challenges involved data in its storage and processing. Do you know data stored in relational database management system is one example of structured data? For example, we are going to store and imply data in table in database. That is an example of structured data. Like you can store imply ID, imply name, gender, department, and salary in lakhs or thousand, or you can only write it salary. Unstructured data is one with unknown form or structure is classified as unstructured data. In addition to the size being huge, unstructured data poses multiple challenges in terms of its processing for driving value out of it. A typical example of unstructured data is heterogeneous data source containing a combination of simple text files, images, videos. Nowadays, organizations have wealth of data available with them, but unfortunately, they don't know how to drive value out of it since this data is in its raw form or unstructured form. The output returned by Google search is the form is an example of unstructured data. When you pose a query, Google show you different kind of results against your queries that can be classified into unstructured data. Semi-structured data can contain both the forms of data. We can see semi-structured data as a structured in form, but it actually not defined with table definition in relational DBMS. Example of semi-structured data is data represented in XML file. Example of semi-structured data is given below, and data is stored in XML format. You can see from this chart that in 2010 data was uh, growing at this rate, and in 2030 almost 70 yottabyte of data will be generated. Please note that web application data, which is unstructured, consists of log files, transaction history files. OLTP systems are built to work with structured data wherein data is stored in relations. Now, what are the main characteristics of big data? Big data can be described by the following characteristics: volume, variety, velocity, and variability. Volume, the name big data itself is related to size, which is enormous. Size of data plays a very crucial role in determining value out of data. Also, whenever a particular data can actually be considered as big data or not is dependent upon the volume of data. Hence, volume is one characteristic which need to be considered while dealing with big data solution. Variety, the next aspect of big data is variety. Variety refers to heterogeneous sources and the nature of data, both structured and unstructured. During earlier days, spreadsheets and databases were the only source of data considered by most of applications. Nowadays, data in the form of emails, photos, videos, monitoring devices, PDFs, audio are also being considered in the analysis application. This variety of unstructured data poses certain issues for storage, mining, and analyzing data. Velocity. The term velocity refers to the speed of generation of data, how fast the data is generated and processed to meet the demands. Determines real potential in the data. Big data velocity deals with the speed at which data flows in form of sources like business process, application logs, networks, and social media sites, sensors, mobile devices. The flow of data is massive and continuous. Variability. This refers to the inconsistency which can be shown by data at times, thus hampering the process of being able to handle and manage the data effectively. Advantages of big data processing. Ability to process big data in DBMS brings in multiple benefits such as business can utilize outside intelligence while taking decisions, improved customer service, early identification of risk to the product service if any, better operational efficiency. Big data technologies can be used for creating a staging area or landing zone for new data before identifying what data should be moved to the data warehouse. In addition, such integration of big data technologies and data warehouse helps an organization to offload infrequently accessed data. So in this video tutorial, we have covered big data definition, big data analytics examples, big data analytics forms, big data advantages, and big data characteristics. So in very next video, we will see more about big data tools. Thank you very much for your interest. If you want to learn any subject, you can comment below and we will upload tutorial for that particular subject. Thank you.